after Spyfall, I sort of found it as sort of like a lukewarm approach to the new season of Doctor Who. There was an interesting mystery brought forward that probably won't pay off until like the end of the season, sort of rehashing last season. Hey, Tim Shaw. Tim Shaw's gone. Tim Shaw's back. So there's that. Gallifrey's destroyed. The Doctor will sort of look sad sometimes, but we won't actually go into it. And then, hey, here's the plot of Gallifrey being destroyed. That's sort of it. So maybe Orphan 55 is just sort of a nice breather. You know, we'll just sit back, relax, and we'll just see what this episode is. Oh my god. Oh, this is
It stinks.
this is like someone took arachnids in the UK and gave it a steroid injection. Oh god. Oh god. And the whole concept of breathing too. Oh wow. So Orphan 55 is the Doctor and company go on a vacation, a nice little resort. You know, everyone's gonna have fun, and you think that'd be good. Ryan attempts to get laid. I'm like, you know what, Ryan? Good for you. Flirt a bit. Develop a bit more character independent of your grandfather, grandmother, and the Doctor. And what comes from this? Well, we don't really quite know, because less than a minute into this story, maybe 2 minutes, probably a minute and 30, didn't time it, but I'm thinking a minute 30, the plot all of a sudden goes in. And the way it happens, you would think that this is a day-to-day thing at this resort. That, oh no, there's like an alien attacking. But it's not. It isn't. This mystery is not built up properly. These mysterious aliens come in, they attack. Turns out the hotel staff know about it. They're just trying to keep it contained, which doesn't make sense. But, you know, whatever. Plenty of other stories have done something like this before. The Doctor meets a woman named Kane, and they don't get along. Like, they really don't get along. The Doctor will not stop verbally abusing Kane when Kane does next to nothing wrong, or very least next to anything. And so, when one of the guests gets kidnapped by the aliens known as the Dregs, or the Dreg, which I didn't quite realize were, well, aliens the wrong word for it. They're mutants. They're apex predators, as the Doctor calls them, because they adapt to any method you use to fire on them. And yeah, they go find this gentleman, Benny, who they believe has wandered off the resort, because it turns out this resort is actually just pretty much a dome. And outside the dome is an orphan planet. So this resort is on a dead planet, effectively. Nothing grows. It's been abandoned by its original inhabitants. As the Doctor says, the rich people have abandoned the planet after exploiting all of its resources because they didn't acknowledge science or fact. And yeah, that it means nothing to the story ultimately. It should. Like, the episode really wants you to think it does. Because, yeah, but the problem is there's no real attempt to sort of make you feel for it. Okay, so what are the Dregs? The Dregs are the mutated survivors of what happened to Orphan 55, who we will later find out is Earth. Now, is it a cautionary tale about this? Well, not really. A good example of a cautionary tale would be, well, the Lorax, not the movie, not the movie Lorax, the original one. That's a good cautionary tale because we see the folly of man, and we see exactly what happens when you don't listen to nature, don't try to preserve the environment. No one wins at the end. Environment's gone, business is destroyed, yeah. But this one is sort of just preachy. Like, when they find out it's Earth, the only real shock we get is, like, how is it Earth? How could it be Earth? And, yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Like, it wants to tell you it means something. But while we were on what used to be Earth, I think it would have been better if it turned out that, you know, as they go through the planet, they find stuff they recognize. That, you know, it might not have been that long ago. Like, maybe just 100 years. Or 200 years, you know. Like, they see the Statue of Liberty in a husk. They see the Eiffel Tower or Big Ben, you know. Find out they're on Sheffield. They're on what used to be Sheffield. I think that would have been more interesting to hammer home the problem about, you know, the climate. But no. This is a horribly paced story. Legitimately, Benny walks off so he can get captured by the Dregs, which is weird because I don't recall the dregs kidnapping people before. They just kill them. So why are they taking Benny somewhere? Are they going to eat Benny? They don't imply that they do eat anything. They just kill stuff. There's a cool kid, I forget his name. He's a really gifted mechanic. His dad doesn't listen to him. This dynamic only exists so the kid can wander off and get in trouble. So when the dad can't fix it, the doctor and co have to go find the kid to help the dad. That's legitimately the only reason they have that dynamic. They never actually patch it up. We never figure out why he's like this. They just got cool green hair. That's it. The companions don't have much to do save for Ryan in his attempt to flirt. And luckily, the girlfriend, or his not girlfriend, have a fun dynamic. They sort of look cute together, but no, as is the law of Doctor Who, don't meet your date in an episode of Doctor Who. They'll probably die, like this one did. The character Kate, I think, is supposed to be the more interesting character, but the problem is the Doctor spends a lot of time verbally abusing Kate. And in Jodie's defense, this position is not unique to her. There have been plenty of incarnations of the Doctor that have sort of taken a moral high ground against a character that often doesn't do anything to deserve it. The 10th Doctor and the unit soldier, I think he was like an officer. The Doctor all of a sudden doesn't like him because he's got a gun. I'm like, well, that's just rude. The 8th Doctor in the Time War series, he does not really come off as endearing for his moral high ground against the soldiers and the drill sergeants. The 7th Doctor and his approach to his pseudo-companion Jemima in The Two Masters. What I'm saying is the Doctor doesn't really look good with that moral high. No incarnation's ever been able to pull that off. Maybe the 6th Doctor's had a good record of it, but for the most part, no. Yaz has, once again, nothing to do. It's weird that Doctor Who, that this season seems to sort of, even last season, Yaz says something, and that's kind of it. Yaz only sort of matters for like 5 minutes every 25, which is weird because Doctor Who has like a 44-minute runtime, if I'm not mistaken. So there's nothing to her. Again, last story, she felt like she died. She went into like a weird place, and she's uncomfortable and sort of distant for a second, and then she's right back where she was. Someone died next to her. Someone sacrificed themselves so they could live. She's upset for like a second, then we move on to the next scene. She's concerned about the climate thing, and the Doctor gives some platitudes, and yeah, that's sort of it. I mean, it sort of felt like they were all waiting to look at the screen during that part too. No. Graham, who has I think been the most consistent character all 3 episodes, has I think done the best job. It's comedy. There's some depth to it. He's Graham. He's Bradley Walsh. The Doctor again seems sort of out of it. I mean, it's sort of weird that we get the idea that it's mentioned in Spyfall Part 2 that whenever Ryan Yaz Graham asks the Doctor about her life, about who she is, she sort of deflects. As I said before, we never get to see that. We never see the Doctor deflect or sort of give a vague answer that they all sort of realize that's not an answer. Whatever. If you're trying to imply there's another story going on for the Doctor, you sort of have to focus on it. I said before that season 12 wants to be like season 6? Season 6? Yeah, season 6. With the Impossible Astronaut, Day of the Doctor. That one also had a mystery. But we knew who was holding the mystery. We knew that Amy and Rory and River knew the Doctor was going to get shot and die. And the Doctor's trying to figure out this weird mystery. And we get teases of the mystery going on. So we should be seeing that. Some of the idea that the Doctor is sort of dealing with it outside of just mentions. But whatever. The Dreads, I didn't realize they had a leader. The Doctor says, oh, this one's their leader. I'm like, how? I mean, I'm not saying that they couldn't, but it's sort of vague. Is this the same Dread that's been there the whole time? They all look the same, so I can't distinguish them. Or whatever. Overall, maybe I'm a bit too hard on this episode. Maybe when I go through the season, when I find the strength to go through the season, I'll say, you know what? I can see where this was going now. I can see what this episode is. But as of right now, this seems to be the worst episode of the season. I'm hoping this is the lowest point, and we just keep going up from there. Anyway, with that in mind, we're going to bring this video to closing. If you're new to the Think Tank, feel to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you saw this episode, leave your thoughts down in the comment section. I will catch you all later. This is the Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.